want to ask you about the trusting. We move the emotions and we feel, but then there is a part where we have to trust. And I want you to talk about that. And about to trusting what?
You know, the highest integrity is to trust in yourself. You know, it doesn't matter what happens externally. It's your choices. And this is where the trust comes. I choose to trust because I want to trust. I choose to flow because I want to trust. I choose to say yes because I want to trust. Because that's defining me. What else happens externally is the responsibility of other people. But this defines you. And the interesting thing is that when we start to trust, everything starts to change externally. Because if you live in praise, love and gratitude and trust, and you're being integral, the mirror starts to change as well. And that doesn't mean that everything will go perfectly. Or there might be difficult situations. But it's what you're choosing in each moment that defines you. And that's the most important thing. You know, always choose the highest point. Always choose the highest point. Because it's always the fear that creates the lower point. Looking for approval, being afraid someone will take advantage. You know, you've got to change that focus. Because it's very emitted in society. Because no one trusts anyone. That's why we have so many lawyers. You know, it's everything. I'm going to sue you, I'm going to sue you, I'm going to sue you. You know, it's ridiculous that the world's got to that point. So you need to trust and flow and be integral. And from a spiritual point of view, of course you have to trust in your own growth. You know, to live in gratitude, not in lack, is automatically a freedom. If you can appreciate everything you have, you're already living in freedom. If you're free to be yourself, you're already living in freedom. It's all in your hands. What you want to perceive externally is in your hands.
My question goes towards consciousness. Always makes me noise that word. We always use, are you aware of what you did, or you are an unaware, unconscious, conscious, no? I'm not sure if the conscious word, how we use it, what is meaning, what is.
Okay, so there's many interpretations of consciousness, no? Being conscious in the moment, being unconscious, being conscious of your action, being unconscious, the subconscious, which you're not conscious of, that creates your reality. There's many consciousnesses. So what I'm talking about is love consciousness. And this is an energy that's within us. It's an energy of peace, joy, flow, trust. It's our divinity. It's unconditional love. Now when we're anchored in this place, we're conscious of self. And it's from that space we can start to change. And when we're in this space and practicing the system, the subconscious starts to reveal itself.
empieza a revelarse.
So we can start to clean our window of
Y ahí
perception.
podemos comenzar a limpiar nuestra ventana de percepción.
The traumas that have transpired in our
Los
lives,
traumas de lo que haya sucedido en nuestra
the
vida,
memories
los recuerdos,
that are
las
changing our
memorias que
vision,
están cambiando nuestra visión.
everything recorded in the system,
Todo aquello que tengamos grabado en nuestro
which
sistema
creates
nervioso,
our world,
que es lo que crea nuestro mundo,
our perception,
nuestra percepción,
starts to come to the surface.
empieza a emerger a la superficie.
And in that
Y
moment,
es en ese momento
we can release the
que
traumas,
podemos liberar los traumas,
but we can also start to
pero
choose
también podemos comenzar a elegir
what serves and what doesn't serve.
aquello que nos sirve y aquello que no nos
So
sirve.
it's a conglomerate of many things,
Así
no?
que de verdad es como un conglomerado de muchas cosas,
It's not just one thing.
no solo una cosa,
But it starts with the highest focus,
pero comienza con el foco más elevado,
which is the unconditional love.
que es el amor incondicional.
And when I focus there,
Y cuando me enfoco,
everything starts to move towards that point.
todo empieza a moverse hacia ese punto.
So everything based in
Y
fear
que todo aquello basado en
starts
miedo
to reveal itself
comienza a revelarse,
and
a
starts to
mostrarse,
disperse.
y comienza a disolverse.
Okay? And I can tell you all of this,
Y yo te puedo contar todo esto,
but you'll start to see it.
pero tú lo vas a empezar a ver por ti mismo.
Because if you're not present,
Porque si tú no estás presente,
you don't know what you do.
no sabes lo que haces.
Because we're robotic,
Porque somos como robóticos,
or anxious,
o somos ansiosos,
or we're running.
o estamos corriendo como
But when we're
desesperados.
present,
Pero cuando estamos presentes,
we can really start to see clearly.
podemos darnos cuenta y ver con claridad.
Yeah?
¿Sí?
Tengo dos preguntas.
I have two
Otro día
questions.
estaba cenando ahí,
The other day I was having
hablando con una
dinner and talking with a person,
estaba le contando que
and I was telling
hace 5 años hablaba un dialecto de alemán.
5 years ago
Después que empecé
I
a
used to
hablar
talk a
portugués,
dialect of
tenía
German.
que ir hasta
And
la
after
escuela.
I started speaking Portuguese when I went to school.
Sobre
So my
la
question
lengua a
is
usar en las facetas.
about what language to use in the facets.
Okay.
Entonces,
It's very important
es súper importante
that you do the facets in your mother tongue.
que hagas las facetas en tu lengua madre,
Okay, to begin with.
al principio.
But
Pero
when you say a dialect of German, what does that mean?
cuando dices dialecto de alemán,
German or not German?
¿alemán o no alemán?
En Europa no existe más, pero en Brasil hay una región llamada de Pomerania. Pomerania no.
Oh, this sounds really complicated.
No, son personas que venían de Pomerania, que era una región de Alemania ahí, y hay 2, 3 locales en Brasil que aún se habla eso. Y yo aprendí eso.
I just think in Portuguese. It sounds much easier.
La otra pregunta
Uh-huh.
es que yo no había percibido eso aún, pero fue ahí que empezó todo el bullying en la escuela. A mí me gustaría que usted hablase de un poco sobre el bullying, como que cosas en general.
Okay. Oh, maybe it is good you do the facets in that then.
Tal vez sería bueno que hicieran las facetas.
If you have a trauma around
Si
that.
hay un trauma alrededor de esa época.
You know, bullying
El bullying
comes from low self-esteem.
viene de la autoestima baja,
Obviously,
obviamente.
children that do bullying
Los niños que hacen el bullying a
have
otros
problems.
tienen problemas.
They could have a problem at
Por ahí
home.
tienen un problema en casa.
There might be a violence in the
Tal vez
house.
hay violencia en la casa.
It always comes from a place
Pero siempre viene de un lugar
where they don't feel good enough.
en donde ellos no se sienten suficientes.
So they take a posture
Entonces toman una postura
of feeling
de
superior.
sentirse superiores a
So
otros.
anyone that's a little bit different
Así que cualquiera que sea un poquito diferente
or
a
looks a little
ellos,
bit weak,
o que se vea un poquito débil,
whatever that
lo que
means,
sea que eso signifique,
they start to project their angst onto those people.
empiezan a proyectar todas sus emociones sobre ellos, todo lo que sienten.
But that always comes from low
Pero eso
self-esteem.
siempre viene de la baja autoestima.
You know, this is why it's so
Es
important
por esto que es tan importante
within the educative system
dentro del sistema educativo
that children
que
learn
los niños aprendan
to move their
a
emotions,
mover lo que sienten,
share what's going on with
a
them,
compartir lo que sienten entre
communicate
ellos,
with each other,
a comunicarse el uno con
and
el
as a
otro.
consequence,
Como
they
consecuencia
start
de
to
eso,
support each other
van a empezar a apoyarse mutuamente
because they've got this experience of
porque
consciousness.
tienen esta experiencia de
And that
conciencia
creates
y
unity.
eso crea unidad.
But if children are damaged
Pero si los niños están dañados
and
y
resented,
resentidos,
they often come to school
a menudo llegan a la escuela
and they start to take it out on other
y
children.
empiezan a tirar todo eso a otros niños.
And it comes from that
Y
place.
viene de ese lugar.
And really,
Y de verdad,
I've seen places
he visto
where the children are
lugares
focused on consciousness,
donde los chicos están enfocados en la conciencia.
and any children that have
Que
disabilities or
cualquier niño
speech
que tiene
problems,
discapacidad o problemas
or
para
whatever,
hablar o lo que sea,
the others support them.
los otros les apoyan.
And it's a natural consequence of high
Y
self-esteem.
es una consecuencia natural de una autoestima elevada.
Learning to give,
El aprender a dar,
teaching love,
el enseñar amor,
giving what you have.
el dar aquello que tú mismo
Because
tienes.
children that don't have love
Porque los niños que no tienen amor
don't know how to give love.
no saben tampoco cómo dar el
If they know violence,
Si conocen solo la violencia,
they know how to give violence.
saben cómo dar violencia.
You know, everyone's a consequence
Todo el mundo es una consecuencia de
of what's transpired in their
eso
lives.
que sucede en sus vidas.
You know, it's easy to say, oh, good and bad.
Es fácil decir bueno y malo,
But where does this come from?
pero ¿de dónde está viniendo eso?
It's not the nature of love.
No es la naturaleza del amor.
Children are born,
Y los niños nacen
love,
haciendo amor, amando.
love. That's who they are.
Eso es quienes son.
And this is another place where people have to be more open.
Y ese es otro lugar donde la gente tiene que estar más abierta.
Isha, me aclaré y
I got
voy
clear,
a los 6 meses.
and I'm going to go to the 6 months. Wow.
La aventura es
The adventure is
enfocarme
to be focused
y no ser como siempre soy, que
and not to be how I'm
no,
always,
pero soy así, tipo,
I always am.
y
Usually I'm too hard and don't enjoy the process
logrando
of the achievements
cosas que quiero.
of what I
Siempre
want.
como una dureza. como
It's
una
always
cuestión
like a
de
harshness that I have.
consigo todo, pero es
I get
como
always everything,
muy duro,
but very harsh.
en vez de ser
Instead
excelente,
of being excellent, it's exigent.
Y bueno, entonces, ¿cómo lograr divertirme
How can I have fun
para lograrlo?
to be able to achieve it? And if I cannot achieve it, to let
You've already said you're not going to achieve it. I didn't take it to... Okay, so you know what? Focus is like this, and it's in each moment, and it's a clarity. This is what I want, and this will serve me to grow. So I'm going to focus in joy. I'm going to focus in giving. I'm going to focus in being open and being unlimited, but from a place of joy. Not a fear of, oh, I've got to get it, I've got to achieve this, I've got to go to the 6 months. You know, you're just stressful. Even now, you're listening to me with the face of stress. Like, I don't want to miss any of this.
No quiero perderme nada de lo que digas.
Don't worry, it's on Darshan.
No te preocupes, está en el Darshan.
It's in the webpage.
Y va a estar en la página web.
Okay, but you see how you're doing that. Straight away, you're like,
¿Viste cómo estás haciendo eso? Enseguida hiciste eso.
then you got to lighten up.
Hay que aligerarse.
Because this is habitual.
Porque eso es un hábito que
You're so used to doing that,
estás tan acostumbrado a hacer eso.
but it's just the same thing.
Pero en realidad es siempre la misma cosa.
I used to be like that.
Yo solía hacer
I would
así.
focus.
Me enfocaba.
I could push down a wall.
En realidad podía empujar una pared.
Really. I had an incredible focus.
Tenía un foco que era increíble.
I want and I will get.
Yo quería y lo lograba.
And I got.
Y lo lograba.
Then,
Entonces,
now I need
después,
something else.
Necesito algo más.
You know, it has to come from joy
Pero en realidad tiene que venir de la dicha
and growth
y de crecimiento.
and being
Y
open.
estar abierto.
Because the universe can open in any
Y en
direction.
realidad el universo se puede abrir en cualquier dirección.
And that's the focus you need.
Y ese es el foco que necesitas.
Yeah. And don't doubt.
No dudes.
Move
no
into
dudes,
action.
ponte en acción nomás.
But don't doubt.
Pero sin dudar.
And don't do it from a place of absolute
Y
attachment.
tampoco hacerlo desde un lugar de apego absoluto.
Because it's a rigidity.
Porque eso es rigidez.
And you can create much easier
Y puedes crear mucho más fácil
than what you can imagine.
que aquello que te puedes imaginar ahora. Here I am very focused in consciousness. And when I go to my work, that is, I'm a lawyer.
Poor thing. You're one of those negative people, aren't you? Yes. Yeah.
My question is, when I'm in court, that is like a war, a battle, judging, no? And there are open several things. And you have to focus and to answer and find the solution very fast. How can I connect from the heart to be able to get a solution? Through my mind. Because deep inside what I feel is that the mind is like the one that goes on resolving these problems or intellectual solutions that we have to give.
You know, do you ever notice that I always have an answer? But to everything. You can ask me anything, boom, answer. Why? Because I'm completely present. And you just have to trust in that. You can be anchored in your heart and have full access to everything. It doesn't mean you're just focused on God and omniscience. I work in the normal world too. And I've got to come up with solutions all the time. So if I'm present, it's very quick. So the two things work together. You know, it's like a cat. They sit and they know when to pounce, no? Yes? The timing's perfect, no? And it's the same within the union of the mind and the heart. You're sitting in that space, but you have the agility to respond, to react within the world. It's not that you turn stupid. Well. Durga. You understand?
There is one more thing. I finish exhausted when I leave those places in court and meetings, no? How can I handle that? Because really I'm very tired after.
You can unplug and unify. And that's great too. During the breaks, unify. And stop running this all the time. You know, you unplug your iPhone, no? Yeah. So allow this, allow the rest. Use the facets. Go into that place. And then come back when you need. It's a great tool. If you're learning a language, for example, something I never do. Obvious. But the thing is, you can learn things. And when you get to that point where you're saturated, come on, dude, you just start unifying. Just start unifying. And it reactivates everything. It's like I said, you turn off your iPhone, you unplug, and you can do the same with your brain. But humans don't do that. They just go shh all the time. Even when they can't even sleep. Because and it doesn't work. You have to be present, alert, waiting for the exact moment, sharp, connected, not just constantly doing this. And enjoy more. You need to enjoy more. You know, everything's so serious. I'm a lawyer. Well, you stop being a lawyer. Be a happy lawyer. I'm sure you're very good.
Estoy segurísima que eres muy
But
buena.
look at your face.
Pero mira la cara.
You've changed completely.
Cambiaste completamente.
What's this, your unplugged face?
¿Qué es tu cara desenchufada esa?
And then you're going to go back and the other one comes.
Después vas a volver y se vuelve la otra cara.
Yeah. Be happy.
Sé feliz. Estate
Be happy.
contenta.
Sé feliz.
Sí. Yo quería hablar sobre la disciplina en los hijos.
I want to talk about discipline and our children. Many times happen
Mi hija no quiere hacer lo que le digo.
that my daughter doesn't want to do what I tell. Get ready to go to her party or shower when I say it, and no party, the dance class.
Para que ella
How can I use this system for her not to be angry when I say to do something and me not being angry?
You have to teach children to be in joy.
Tienen que enseñar a los niños a estar en dicha.
Okay, it's not this rigidity.
No es con rigidez.
You get them to play with you,
Los llamas a jugar contigo.
to focus on
A
consciousness,
enfocarte en la
to do the
conciencia.
things that you
A hacer
do,
aquellas cosas que tú
and
haces.
participate with them.
Y a participar con ellos.
It's not that you're putting authority over
O sea,
them,
no se trata de imponer autoridad sobre
especially
ellos.
at that age, no?
Especialmente a esa edad que decías, ¿no?
You know, it's like I can relate only with dogs.
Es como, yo lo puedo relacionar a los perros.
Okay, for example, if I've got a puppy
Si yo tengo un cachorrito,
like her,
como ella,
she doesn't want to do anything I want.
ella no quiere hacer nada de lo que yo
You know,
hago,
I call her
La llamo
and she
y
sits.
se sienta.
I tell her to stop
Le digo que pare
and she does.
y sí, lo hace.
So I have to manipulate her,
Tengo que manipularla,
but with
de
joy,
alguna manera,
no?
jugando con
You know, I
alegría.
play with her, I
Juego
teach
con
her.
ella, yo le
She's a bit
enseño.
slow,
Es un
no?
poco lenta.
But it's okay.
Pero
You
está
know,
bien.
come on, you can do it. Yeah. Come on, you know, you play with them.
Uno juega con
It shouldn't
ellos,
be stressing you.
pero no tendría que estar estresado.
It should be something you're enjoying.
Tendría que ser que algo que estés disfrutando.
Because
tú.
as a mother,
Porque como mamá,
you had a baby
tú tuviste un bebé.
for fun, no?
Porque sí, para
To
divertirte,
give all your
¿no? Para darle
love,
todo
to
tu
enjoy.
amor, para disfrutar.
And I think you're being too
Y me
rigid.
parece que está siendo muy rígida.
You know, she's 3 years old.
Solo tiene 3
And
años.
she's your little mirror too.
Ella es tu pequeño espejito
She's going to give
también.
you hell.
Y te va a crear un infierno,
And it's
seguro.
your fault
Pero es culpa tuya.
because you had her.
Porque tú la tuviste.
Yeah. But enjoy it.
Pero disfrútala.
You know, just play, have
Solo juega
fun,
con ella y
teach her the
diviértete.
facets,
Enséñale las facetitas.
be more in her level.
Estate más a su nivel.
And then as she gets
Y
older,
después a medida que ella vaya
obviously you're going to
creciendo,
start putting limits.
obviamente le vas a poner límites ahí.
Yeah, but in the beginning,
Pero al principio,
just be her best friend.
sé su mejor amiga.
Okay, that's the best advice I can give.
Ese es el mejor consejo que te puedo dar.
You know.
Hola, bueno, yo quería preguntarte sobre el tema de
I
la
want
mente.
to ask you about the mind.
¿Qué pasa con la mente
What
cuando
happens
se
with
despierta
the
esa
mind
energía de conciencia?
when
¿Cómo
that
lo viviste vos?
consciousness energy awakens, and how
Hace
did
unos
you
días
experience?
entré en cortocircuito,
Few days ago, I was in short circuit,
fui más profundo
and I
y
went
sentí
deeper,
mucho
and I
susto.
felt I got scared.
Bueno, y yo me acuerdo que vos
And I
contaste que
remember you
llegaste a un
said
punto en donde
that you got to a
todo
point
empezó a ser,
where
como
everything
ilusión.
started being like
Esa
illusion.
desestructuración, yo
That-
quería saber cómo lo viviste.
That breaking of the structures, how did you experience?
You know, I see everything.
Yo veo todo.
When I woke up,
Cuando yo desperté,
it was like pixels in a television.
fue como se ven los píxeles en la tele, ¿viste?
You know, everything just went
Como que todo magnificado.
disappeared,
Desapareció
boom, come back,
y volvió.
disappeared,
Volvió a desaparecer.
come back, come
Volvió,
back, come back,
volvió,
and all that
volvió.
energy moved out of me into
Y
everything.
toda esa energía salió de mí y penetró todo.
And I know that it's all the
Y
same.
yo sé que todo es lo
Everything's the
mismo,
same.
que todo es lo
It's
mismo,
illusionary.
que es
It's a
ilusorio,
mirror.
que es un espejo.
I know this.
Yo
And
sé
I
esto.
experience the energy in everything now.
Y experimento la energía en todo ahora.
But it's different.
Pero es diferente.
It's more solidified.
Es más sólido.
I don't think what I experience is important.
Pero yo no creo que lo que yo experimenté o experimento sea importante.
Because this was when I woke up.
Que esto fue cuando yo desperté.
And it's what transpires when you
Y es
enlighten.
lo que sucede cuando te iluminas.
You know, you can't be looking for that
No puedes estar
experience.
buscando esa
It
experiencia.
happens from nothing.
Eso sucede de la nada.
You do a big
Entonces,
process,
uno hace un proceso grande.
a big
Un
process.
proceso grande, importante.
And then in 1
Y
second,
después en un
you
segundo,
let go, boom.
sueltas y boom.
But there's a process to get
Pero
to
hay
that
un
point.
proceso para poder llegar a ese punto.
You know, you might be having exalted
Tal vez tú
experiences,
estás teniendo experiencias exaltadas.
and that's fine.
Y eso está
You know,
bien.
people take drugs,
Las personas también toman drogas,
and
¿no?
they see everything disappear,
Ven como
and,
todo desaparece
you know,
de
they
pronto.
have lots of different
Tienen
experiences.
diferentes experiencias,
And you can
¿verdad?
exalt when you're practicing the
Y
system
también
too.
uno se puede exaltar cuando practica el sistema.
But it's not permanent.
Pero no es una experiencia permanente.
When it's permanent,
Cuando es permanente,
there's no questions.
ahí no hay pregunta alguna.
It just is.
Solo es.
Like, I don't ask anyone anything.
O sea, yo no le pregunto nada a nadie.
And before I was full
Y
of
antes sí, yo
questions,
estaba llenísima de preguntas.
because I am that experience.
Porque soy esa experiencia ahora.
Hmm?
To come here, I have a friend in Brazil, Marcia Mazeiro, and she
Cuando vine, una amiga que tengo en Brasil me dijo,
yes, but she talked about the method, giving me
habló del método y me dio libros y habló de esto, pero nunca hizo una faceta
So
conmigo.
my question is,
Entonces mi pregunta
because I
es,
just came because
porque
I
vine
felt
porque
I should.
sentí que tenía que
I
venir.
never, I didn't read anything.
No
I
leí
didn't do anything.
nada,
I
no
just
hice
came
nada,
because my
solo
heart
vine porque
brought
mi
me
corazón
here.
me trajo.
So my question
Entonces mi
is,
pregunta es,
when I come back,
cuando yo vuelva,
and if I want to talk about this
si quiero
experience,
hablar de esta experiencia,
may I do a facet with this person instead of
Puedo
showing things?
puedo practicar una faceta con cualquier persona en vez de que lean el libro
to show how I
para
felt
mostrar cómo
and
me
try to
sentí e
connect to
intentar
this
conectar con esta persona.
You know, I think it's very important
Me parece que es muy importante
that people, if they're going to start
que si
practicing,
las personas van a empezar a practicar,
that they at least have the book
que por lo menos tengan el libro
or
consigo,
the
o
movie
la
or
película por qué caminar,
some reference,
una referencia
because you've just started
nuestra, porque acabas de empezar
and you don't have all the answers to
y
the
tú no
questions.
tienes todas las respuestas a las preguntas.
So I think it's important that they can get in contact with a facilitator
Así
or
que me parece
something.
que es importante que entres en contacto con un facilitador
And
o
it's not
algo.
so that they continue, no?
Y es para que puedan continuar con la práctica.
Because really, unless you understand,
Porque de verdad, a menos que uno entienda más o menos
to a
esto,
certain point,
hasta cierto punto,
the facets have no value.
las facetas no valen nada.
You know, many people practice the system
Muchas personas practican el sistema
through the book,
a través del libro
and they change
y
dramatically.
cambian montones.
But on some level, they have an understanding of what's
Pero hasta
transpiring.
cierto punto tiene una comprensión de lo que sucede.
Yeah, and I think that's important in the beginning.
Y me parece que al principio eso es lo más
It's
importante.
different with children.
Diferentes con los niños.
Like you can teach the children, love creates me my
A los
perfection.
niños le puedes enseñar amor me queda mi
And they'll
perfección.
repeat it
Y le van a repetir
because they're innocent.
porque son inocentes.
But adults are not so innocent.
Pero los
No?
adultos no son tan inocentes.
And the good thing is you came here from your heart.
Y lo bueno es que tú viniste aquí desde tu corazón.
And so obviously you're relatively innocent.
Así que tú eres bastante inocente, ¿no es
Yeah,
cierto?
but I'm like that too.
Yo también soy
I
así.
trust in that.
Confío en eso.
And lots of people are like that.
Y muchas personas
And
son
it's a good
así.
way to be.
Y es una buena forma de
But the
ser.
majority of people
Pero la mayor parte de las personas
need more information, no?
necesitan más información.
Yeah.
Y justo recién estaban hablando de los niños.
And you were talking about children, and I want to tell that I had two children. Her, that is 3,
Y una que hoy día, o sea, ya
and
está por
one
cumplir 19.
that is going to be 19.
Y la de 19 empezó a venir muy chica.
The one of
como ella.
19 started coming very little like her.
Unificaba,
And we were
unía,
unifying, she learned the facet, and during all this
a ella le
time,
sirvió profundamente.
it served her profoundly, especially today in an age so complicated.
Que socialmente es muy
Socially, it's
complicado. Y
very
ella tiene
complicated.
herramientas.
She has
Ella, si
tools
tiene
today.
estrés, llama a un
If she has a
maestro,
stress,
está
call a
haciendo las 4
teacher.
semanas con
She's
la
doing the
Ani.
4 weeks
Tiene
with Annie.
apoyo.
She has
Yo
support.
siento que no lo
And I
tenía,
feel
no
that
tuviese
if
la
no,
faceta.
she didn't have the facet, she was not
Si
going to
ella,
have it.
no sé, se abandona, sabe que se abandona.
If she abandoned,
y
she
vuelve,
knows she abandoned,
vuelve
and then she
a la
comes back to
conciencia.
consciousness.
O sea, este sistema
So
para los
this
niños es
system
maravilloso.
for children is beautiful.
Ella es tercera vez que viene,
She's
ya
third
se
time she comes,
acostumbrado,
and she
unifica
got
conmigo.
used
Ya sé que
to.
me está
She
enseñando
unified with
a
me.
hablar.
She's calmer in
Mi
the
relación con ella
Darshans.
también es distinta.
And my relationship with her is
Porque
different now.
yo cuando, en vez de explotar,
Because instead of
grito,
exploding
voy
and
con
I
un
scream, I scream, I go to a teacher.
tienen hijos.
This system, for the ones of us that we are parents, is the best.
O sea, yo tengo la experiencia.
I have
de
the
la
experience
educación.
of the grown up.
You have great kids.
Tenés niños divinos.
O sea,
Estos
además,
niños son divinos.
En este ambiente
And
de
also in
médicos
this
que están
atmosphere
competitivos,
that
están
is
de bullying, no sé
the atmosphere that is so competitive, she has her tools, that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing children that have consciousness. Or have the capacity to express. And the intelligence to know when they're actually abandoning themselves. They can see it. And then they can make a new choice. Doesn't mean they won't do it. But then they make a new choice. Whereas children without consciousness do it until they hit a critical point. Then they have to change. But children with consciousness, no. And it's the big difference. A big, big difference.
Hi Isha, I want to give thanks to the teachers and you for being here, having this experience that I loved. I want to ask you something. I have a niece, and she's told that it has anorexia, bipolarity, and depression. What can you talk about that? How can I help her?
Well, I assume she's seeing a psychiatrist. It'd be great if she practiced the system. It would help her a lot. But she has to want to. You know, she'll see your changes, and maybe she'll be interested. Because all of these things come from a place of low self-worth. Like she's not loving herself. And everyone can heal. But they have to get in touch with consciousness. And working with the psychiatrist, with the system, would be great. If she wants. You know, people have to get to the point where they want to change. You can't make people change. And it's difficult, no? When it's young people that you love, and you can see what's happening, and you feel inútil, like you can't do anything. It's wonderful if you can help. So you can show her the movies. They're in the web page. Take her some books. Share your experience. You know, the good thing about this is there's lots of young people. Like it's a cool sort of a system, no? It's not dense. Like it's fun, you know, and young people do it all the time. So it's inspiring for them. You know, it's interesting. It's like, oh yeah, there's no belief system. They don't have to walk around doing namaste all day. You know, it's fun. And I think it attracts a lot of young people. Because it's practical. It's in the moment. It's not dense. You know, my teachers are all young. Well, they used to be. Ahora no tanto. But their energy's young, no? Yeah. All of their energies are very young. So it's great. Young people love to come here. I mean, yeah. And the 6 months is full of young people. It's great. Yeah.
Gracias.
I have a feeling that I regather myself, re-meet myself. It came an Ana Maria, different to this. And I'm another one living. How to embrace absolutely everything of yourself.
Just enjoy it. You know, life is meant to be fun. You know, we take it so seriously. Like we have to achieve something. Like we have to graduate from life. And it's not like that. It's meant to be creative. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be joyful. It's meant to focus on praise, love and gratitude and enjoy everything and enjoy yourself. Stop worrying. Stop being so heavy. You know, just embrace everything. And most importantly, stop criticizing yourselves. Love creates me in my perfection. Because the biggest problem we have is we keep beating ourselves up. For what? And then we get offended if people criticize us. But we criticize ourselves all the time. We're so violent. We're never good enough. I'm not a good enough wife, I'm not a good enough mother, I'm not a good enough husband, I don't earn enough money, I'm not thin enough, I'm not beautiful enough, I've got too many wrinkles. What else? There's a million reasons. Oh, she's smiling now. Oh, yay! You know, just have fun. I'll tell you a secret. Yeah, as you get older, because you're obviously much younger than me, you start to get much more wrinkles, no? Yeah, I'm talking to her. Many more wrinkles. But the good thing is, your eyesight gets really bad. So you can't see them. You look in the mirror and you think, oh, I look good. I'm looking good. Oh. So don't worry. It's like that. Gracias. Namaste.